You have excellent qualifications, but, this is a front desk position. I'm sorry we can't hire you.
Linda, why did you do this to me? I was jealous of you. Jealous enough to destroy my life? I'm sorry. You were my sister, Linda. I don't know what came over me, but Linda, you have destroyed my life. You destroyed my career. Look at these scars. I'm sorry.
What happens when the person who hates you most is the person who shares the same blood with you? Blessing and Linda were sisters. They grew up together, lived under the same roof, and had the same mother. But their characters were completely different. Blessing was calm, respectful, hardworking, and kind. Linda was hot-tempered, stubborn, and easily irritated. Their mother, Mama Rose, owned a small but busy local food shop in town. She sold rice, beans, yam, chicken, stew, and other Nigerian meals. Blessing loved helping her mother at the shop. Every morning she arrived early. She cleaned the tables, arranged the food, and welcomed customers with a smile. "Good afternoon, sir. What would you like to eat?" "Please, give me rice and chicken." "Okay, sir." She would serve the food carefully and even thank the customers after they paid. People loved her. Some customers would specifically ask, "Is Blessing around today?" Mama Rose was always proud of her. But Linda was completely different. One afternoon, a customer walked into the shop. "Good afternoon, please, I want rice and chicken." Linda barely looked at him. "Rice is there, chicken is there. Go and sit down." The man looked surprised. "Excuse me?" "I said go and sit down. I'll bring it." The customer walked away quietly. A few minutes later, another woman called Linda. "Please, can I have a little more stew?" Linda frowned. "Everybody wants extra stew." The woman looked uncomfortable. "I'll pay for it." "Then pay for it." Blessing quickly stepped in. "It's okay, ma. I'll give you some." The woman smiled. "Thank you, my dear." Before leaving, she quietly told Mama Rose, "Rose, you need to talk to that girl. Her attitude is not good." Mama Rose sighed. "I know. I've been talking to her." Linda overheard them. Her face changed. "Of course." Mama Rose turned. "What is it?" "You always take Blessing's side." "Linda, this has nothing to do with Blessing." "It always has something to do with Blessing." Mama Rose shook her head. "No, it is about the way you speak to people." Linda folded her arms. "So everything I do is wrong?" "Nobody said that. But you never correct Blessing, because she doesn't behave the way you do." Linda became angry. "Exactly. You see? You always praise her." She walked away. Blessing followed her. "Linda, don't be angry. Leave me alone. I didn't say anything." "You don't have to." Linda turned towards her. "Everybody loves you. Mama loves you. Customers love you. Even strangers praise you." Blessing looked confused. "Linda, I never asked anyone to compare us." "But they do." She walked away angrily. Blessing stood there, hurt. She didn't understand why her own sister seemed to hate her. The same thing happened again and again. Whenever Linda was rude to a customer, Mama Rose corrected her. Whenever Blessing helped a customer, they praised her. And every time Mama Rose said, "Linda, learn from your sister," Linda heard something completely different. She heard, "Blessing is better than you." One evening, a regular customer told Mama Rose, "You are lucky to have a daughter like Blessing." Mama Rose smiled proudly. "She is my good girl." Linda was standing nearby. She heard every word. Her smile disappeared. She walked away without saying anything. That night, she sat alone in her room. She looked at herself in the mirror. Why is everything always about Blessing? She was tired of being compared. But instead of changing her behavior, Linda began to hate the person she believed was making her look bad, her own sister. 2 years later, they both enter university. The difference between them became even clearer. Blessing took her studies seriously. Linda was more interested in parties, friends, and having fun. When graduation came, Blessing finished with excellent grades. Mama Rose was overjoyed. "My daughters!" She hugged them tightly. "You have made me proud." When they got home, their mother was going through their results. Linda's grade was poor. Mama Rose looked at her. "Linda, you need to take life seriously. Look at your sister." Linda's expression changed.
Must you always compare me with her? I'm only encouraging you. No, you are telling me that I'm not good enough. She stood up immediately and walked out from them. Blessing followed her. Linda, Mama is talking to you and you just walked out from her. Why are you even angry? Linda stopped and faced Blessing. Because everybody thinks you are perfect. Blessing sighed. I'm not perfect. Maybe not, but everyone treats you like you are. Linda walked away. Blessing watched her go. She never imagined that Linda's jealousy had already grown into something dangerous. A few weeks later, the sisters were helping Mama Rose prepare food at the shop. It was late afternoon. Mama Rose checked the food. I need to go to the market. I'll be back soon. Okay, Mama, Blessing answered. Mama Rose left. There were no customers yet. Blessing stood near the counter, arranging plates. Linda was in the kitchen. She looked at her sister. Then she looked at a large pot of freshly prepared stew. She stood there for a moment. Her heart was beating fast. A terrible thought entered her mind. Today, I will end all this. She walked toward the pot. Blessing didn't notice. She was still arranging the plates. Linda called Blessing to come and help her pick something from the floor. Blessing, with a smile on her face, walked towards her, trying to help her only sister, not knowing she had evil in mind. Immediately, she bent down. Linda lifted the pot, and before Blessing could understand what was happening, the hot stew came crashing down on her. Ah! Blessing screamed. She fell to the floor, crying and holding her face. Linda dropped the pot. Then she began screaming, "Help! Somebody help! It was an accident! I didn't mean to!" Neighbors rushed into the shop. Mama Rose soon returned and nearly collapsed when she saw her daughter. "My God! Blessing! What happened?" Linda was crying. "Mama, the pot slipped!" "The pot slipped?" "Yes!" Blessing was rushed into the hospital. In the emergency ward, her mother sat beside her crying, and when the bandages were eventually removed, she looked into the mirror and screamed. The beautiful face she once knew was gone. And Linda? She continued telling everyone the same lie. It was an accident, but she didn't know that one day the truth would come back to destroy everything.
The accident was over, but for Blessing, the suffering had only begun. She touched it gently, then tears rolled down her cheeks. "Mama," her mother rushed to her. "My daughter, will I ever look like myself again?" Mama Rose hugged her tightly. "Don't worry, you will be fine." But Blessing could hear the pain in her mother's voice. Deep down, she knew things would never be the same. Months passed. Blessing tried to return to normal life. She applied for jobs everywhere. One company called her for an interview. She dressed carefully and went. The interviewer smiled as he looked through her documents. "You have excellent qualifications." "Thank you, sir." "You are actually suitable for this position." Blessing smiled. Then his eyes moved to her face. There was an uncomfortable silence. "I'm sorry," he finally said. Blessing already knew. "Is it because of my scar?" The man looked embarrassed. "This is a front desk position. You will be the first person customers see. I'm sorry we can't hire you." Blessing lowered her eyes. "I understand." She walked out of the office with tears in her eyes. That day, she cried all the way home. The same thing happened with men. Before the accident, Blessing had suitors. One young man had even talked about marriage. But after the accident, everything changed. One by one, they disappeared. Some stopped calling, some made excuses. Some told her directly that they couldn't marry a woman with such a scar. Blessing became lonely. At 30, she was still unmarried. At 31, still alone.
She watched her friends get married. One night, she stood before her mirror. "Is this how my life will remain?" She cried quietly, but she refused to give up. She started a small business online. She worked hard. She slowly learned to live with her scar. Meanwhile, Linda's life was moving in the opposite direction. She met a man named David. David loved her. They got married. Later, they had 2 beautiful children. Linda had the family she had always dreamed of: a husband, children, a beautiful home, and a secret she had carried for years. She had never told David what really happened to Blessing. Whenever he asked about the scar, Linda simply said, "It was an accident when we were young." David never questioned it. Blessing stayed away from Linda. She had told her sister she had forgiven her, but she never visited. Linda called several times. "Blessing, please come and see me." Blessing always refused. Then Mama Rose would call. "My daughter, your sister is sorry." "I know, Mama. She has apologized. I have forgiven her." "Then why don't you go and see her?" "I just need time." Years passed. One day, Linda called with an invitation. "Blessing?" "Yes? My daughter is turning 5. "That's wonderful. We are having a birthday celebration. Congratulations. I want you to come." Blessing became silent. "Please? I don't think I can." "Come for my daughter." Blessing sighed. "I'll think about it." When she told Mama Rose, her mother insisted. "You will go." "Mama, you cannot run away forever." Blessing looked away. "Linda has apologized. You said you have forgiven her." "I have." "Then go." After several days of persuasion, Blessing finally agreed. The birthday celebration was beautiful. Children were running everywhere. Music was playing. People were laughing. Linda was overjoyed when she saw her sister. "Blessing!" She hugged her tightly. "I can't believe you came." Blessing smiled. "Happy birthday to your daughter." "Thank you." Linda looked at her face. Her smile faded for a moment. "I'm really sorry." Blessing nodded. "I know. I wish I could change what happened." "You can't." Linda's eyes filled with tears. "Please forgive me." Blessing looked at her. "I have forgiven you." Linda hugged her again. For a moment, Blessing thought maybe she could finally move on. Then she saw Linda's husband. David walked over and smiled. "It's so nice to finally meet you." "Nice to meet you too." He shook her hand. Then he walked back to Linda. He put his arm around her. She smiled at him. Their children ran between them. The whole family looked happy. Blessing watched. She smiled, but inside something began to hurt. Linda spent the evening talking about her husband. "David bought this for me. David is planning our next trip. My daughter did this. My son said this." Blessing listened quietly. She looked at Linda's beautiful home, her husband, her children, her happiness. Then she looked at herself. She thought about the jobs she lost, the men who rejected her, the years she spent alone, and one painful thought entered her mind. "She destroyed my life, and she is the one enjoying hers." Blessing quickly wiped away a tear. Nobody noticed. Later that night, the guests left. Linda walked towards Blessing. "Thank you for coming." "You're welcome. You can sleep in the guest room tonight." "Okay." Linda smiled. "I'm really happy we are together again." Blessing forced a smile. "Good night." "Good night, my sister." Linda took David's hand. "Let's go to bed." David smiled. They walked into their bedroom together. The door closed. Blessing remained alone in the sitting room. The house became silent. She looked around. She could hear Linda and David laughing softly from their room. Blessing sat down. Then a tear dropped from her eye. She remembered everything. The accident, the hospital, the scar, the rejection, the loneliness. Then she remembered what she had just seen. Linda, her husband, her children, her happy home. Blessing covered her face. And that night, alone in the guest room, she began asking herself a question that would change everything. What am I still living for?
Blessing touched the scar on her face. Then she looked at herself in the mirror. "Look at me," she whispered. At 35 years old, no husband, no children, no job. What is left for me? Tears rolled down her face. She tried to stop them, but she couldn't. She remembered the interview rooms, the men who stopped calling, the people who stared at her, the friends who slowly disappeared. Then she remembered Linda smiling with her husband. She remembered the children running around her. She remembered Linda saying, "My husband bought this for me." Blessing covered her face. "She took my life from me." Her voice broke, and she is enjoying hers. She cried for a long time. Then she reached for a notebook. She began writing. Not because she wanted to hurt Linda, not because she wanted revenge. She simply wanted someone to finally understand the pain she had carried all these years. She wrote slowly, and when she finished, she folded the letter and she placed it where her sister would easily find it. Then she made a tragic decision. Morning came. Linda woke up early. She remembered that Blessing was sleeping in the guest room. She wanted to check on her before starting the day's activities. She knocked. "Blessing?" No answer. She knocked again. "Blessing, are you awake?" Still nothing. Linda opened the door. Her face immediately changed. "Blessing!" She rushed inside. "David!" Her scream woke her husband. "What happened? Please come." David ran into the room. Linda was crying. "Something is wrong with Blessing." David immediately called for help. Then Linda noticed something on the floor. A folded letter. Her name was written on it. Her hands began shaking. "David, what?" She picked it up. "This is for me." She opened it. The first line made her heart stop. "Dear Linda." Linda began reading. Her tears fell onto the paper. Blessing wrote about everything. The day of the accident, the hospital, the scar, the job interviews, the men who rejected her, the years she spent alone, the birthdays she celebrated without a family of her own. And then she wrote about the previous evening. "Linda, when I came here yesterday, I tried to be happy for you. I really did. I saw you with your husband. I saw your children running around you. I saw how happy you are, and I kept thinking about the life I could have had." Linda covered her mouth. David took the letter from her. He continued reading. "You told me you were sorry, and I told you I had forgiven you. But Linda, forgiving you did not erase what happened. Every morning when I look at my face, I remember that day. I have spent years wondering why a sister could do this to her own sister, out of jealousy. Nobody wants me. Again, you ruined my life. I have gone for jobs and watched people's faces change when they saw my scar. I have met men who liked me until they saw my face. I have watched people move on with their lives while I remained stuck in mine." David slowly looked at Linda. His voice was shaking. What is she talking about? Linda couldn't answer. David continued reading. Then he reached the part that would change everything. "Linda, you told everyone the stew was an accident, but you know it wasn't." David stopped reading. He looked at his wife. "Linda?" She began crying. "David, is this true?" Linda covered her face. "I was jealous." David stepped back. "You did this to her?" "I was young." "You deliberately hurt your own sister?" Linda fell to the floor. "I was jealous of her." David stared at her in disbelief. "All these years." He looked at the letter again. "You knew she suffered because of you." Linda was sobbing. "I didn't know it would become this bad." David shook his head. "You knew enough to do it." When her mother arrived at the house, she was completely broken. She saw Blessing being attended to and immediately began crying. "My daughter!" She held her hand. "Please, Blessing." Then she looked at Linda. "You did this to your sister. I hope you are now happy. Your only sister has to end her own life because of your wickedness." Linda was crying. "Mama, I'm sorry." Mama Rose shook her head. "Sorry?" She pointed toward Blessing. "Look at what your jealousy has done." Linda covered her face. "I never thought it would go this far." Mama Rose cried. "And I kept telling Blessing to forgive you." She looked at the letter. "I told her to come here." Her voice broke. "I thought I was helping her heal." She sat down and cried.
David could no longer look at Linda the same way. He finally understood why Blessing had stayed away for so many years. He understood why she struggled. He understood why she had never truly been able to move on. And Linda finally had to face the truth she had buried for years. Her jealousy had not only destroyed her sister's face, it had destroyed her sister's hope. Blessing's story became a painful reminder to everyone around her. A reminder that sometimes people are suffering silently behind a smile. She had told everyone she had forgiven Linda, but forgiveness alone could not erase years of pain. She needed help.
She needed someone to truly listen. She needed to believe that her life still had value beyond her scar. And that is the saddest part of this story. Blessing had survived the accident. She had survived rejection. She had survived loneliness. But she eventually became overwhelmed by the pain she had carried for too long. This story teaches us that a scar does not make anyone less worthy of love. Being rejected does not mean you are worthless. Not being married does not mean your life has no meaning. Not having children does not mean your life has no purpose. And losing one opportunity does not mean there will never be another. Sometimes life closes one door and we become so focused on that door that we forget there may be another one waiting to open. So please, if you are ever in a place where life feels too heavy, don't suffer alone. Talk to someone you trust. Reach out for professional help. Your life is worth protecting, even when you cannot see a way forward. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think Linda truly understood the damage she had caused her sister? And if you were Blessing, would you have been able to forgive Linda after everything she did? Tell me honestly in the comments. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who loves emotional stories, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Your comments, likes, shares, and subscriptions help this channel grow. And remember, never let jealousy control your heart, and never allow another person's cruelty to convince you that your own life is no longer valuable. Thank you so much for watching. Until we meet again in another story, take care of yourself and never suffer in silence.